Ladies and gentlemen, this has been fantastic. We are deep diving. I know it's a catchword, but we have Joe, my friend from Queensland, political analyst, and just all round good bloke. And just as I said to you, the way I learn a lot, and this is what people have to understand. You get on other forms of media. Myself, obviously, doing my podcast, but also Joe on TikTok. Have a look what's happening. They don't want us to know what's happening. Is that correct, Joe? Let's just cut the bullshit.
Yeah,
They don't want us.
100%.
They don't want you and me doing what we're doing. Tell us a bit about it. What do you reckon?
100%. No, of course they don't. Of course they don't. You know, they want to try and prevent as much of the truth from getting out as possible. I mean, you see the mainstream media trying to create new incentives, to get more people watching, but it's just simply not working. You know what
Yep.
I mean? It's not happening. X has taken over for the
Yep.
better, really.
Yep. So okay, so they don't want us to. They don't want us to know nothing. And they damn well know it. Do you think? I'll go one step further. I mean, when we know our prime minister, he's scared of Trump. We know he's shit scared of him.
100%.
And do you think, do you think you might be getting a little bit sensitive with regards to the comments that they're getting? All these so-called politicians that are getting exposed, exactly what we said in the first part about, these people, these elites getting exposed. You're looking at those movie stars and all those things. What do you reckon about that?
Yeah, I think they are definitely getting very sensitive. I mean, you see all the beef happening with like Kevin Rudd, like completely, ripping into Trump
I was a
and now,
fan of you. I was a fan of Rudd. I'll be honest with you, but I
yeah,
mean, we'll have
yeah,
to, oh, don't worry. I'm awake.
yeah, 100%. Yeah. And I think, in fact, that particular event, Rudd kind of bagging out Trump has really woken up Americans to our political system over here and the corruption that's kind of going on there. But yeah, 100%. I think I definitely think our politicians in the two major parties are worried about what's going to happen
Yep.
because you see with China, you know what I mean, the tariffs that are being put on their import and export market, what's to say that they won't do that to Australia to stop us from, you know, kind of moving in the direction that we're moving into.
Yep.
Because I truly believe we are actively trying to move away from trading with America and alliancing ourselves more with China. I mean,
Right.
you're seeing a lot of trade agreement going on with China, and like the endorsement from like the president, the prime minister of the Communist Party over there endorsing Albanese. I know you probably saw that the
Oh
other day.
yeah, I saw it.
Shaking hands. The China's leader,
Do you
which
think
I think is
here's one
concerning.
here's one for you? So I always say that everything's got good intention, right? Depending on the person. Like I always have these discussions about. Well, we were talking about let's go capitalism because I know you love it. I know it's
Yeah,
one capitalism, communism to your heart, right? So I look at capitalism. I had the discussion with a friend of mine. They go, and he says you can't. Capitalism's free trade. I go, okay, yeah, no worries. It's supposed to. You can't put regulation on capitalism, right? That's fine. Everyone can do what they want. But how come you can't go? That's fair enough. But let's look at the infiltration and corruption on that theory. So you're telling me you can't stop it, but yeah, you can't stop it. But what about the corruption, mate? How do you go about that? And you sort of going, oh yeah, and then the other one, I think the big one that I'll say is Bonza Airways. Now I don't know the ins and outs of it, but something wasn't right there, and I think
yeah. I'm not too educated on that particular
I'm not educated on
event.
that, but it's something similar to what Ansett does. All I know is talking to people because I knew a lot of people within there is that you can't run two companies. You can't run two fuel bills on one company if you get where I'm going. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So that's what happened to Ansett. But the big companies in bed with the government, we know how it goes.
yeah.
So
So
yeah, keep going.
yeah, I think particularly
Excuse me.
with communist countries, I mean, you always have a very similar agenda, and it's a government that wants to take complete control over every single market of trade and its entire population. I mean, you can't. It's impossible to have a communist run country without without some kind of a dictator. And you see it historically. I mean, you see it with Korea, you saw it with China,
Yep.
the Soviet Union,
Yep.
Vietnam, like places like this. You know what I mean? It always
Excuse
ends,
me.
in famine and poverty and death. And kind of the way I look at communism is, historically it's claimed that it's led to over 100 million deaths. But the communists like to claim, oh, well, we never did it right. That's not true communism. And I just think, well, how many more times do you want to attempt it before you get it right? How many more lives must be sacrificed before you get communism right? It's led to over 100 million deaths in the past. How many more, do we need before you get it right? You know what I mean? I think we just
Absolutely.
walk away from it. I think we just walk away from it. It historically doesn't work.
Yep.
And capitalism for me is just statistically it is the only true method of trade
Hmm.
that is prosperous for everybody.
But then you've got people who come along. We're talking about let's talk. We're talking corruption in any way, shape, or form. You get
Yeah,
something, and you get a good concept, and it should be good for everyone, but it isn't. We know that as soon as it gets anywhere near someone who can do, oh yeah, I can benefit myself. This is where the big issue is, my friend.
100%. I mean, and I think as well, with regards to corruption, I mean, you see it here with a communist setup, and it's directly in the Help to Buy scheme. I mean, they want to claim up to 40% ownership of your home, but they kind of want to run it under the guise of, oh, like we want to help Australians buy their first home. We want to help Aussies get on their
Yeah,
feet. But in reality, it's not that. They've deliberately overspent money, driven inflation through the roof so nobody can afford a home. They've introduced the Help to Buy scheme. So then and now because the economy is so in shambles, we're forced to take it on. And then we're still relying more on the government for help because they're still not managing the economy correctly. And now we're under their Help to Buy scheme. They've come in, taken 40% ownership of our home. We still can't afford to pay off the loan. So we go to them, they swoop in, take control of our asset.
so
And
what?
there you go,
Yeah,
communism.
so what happens? Okay, well, you're exactly right. So basically, you own your home with the government. So if you can't pay the mortgage, what happens?
Yeah, that's right. What happens? And I think it's also leading into, you have the World Economic Forum slogan of by 2030 you'll own nothing and be happy. And I think
Yep,
this is a step towards that entirely. They're forcing us into the agenda.
I think
They
so.
don't want us to own any of our assets. I mean, you see it with like social media, our homes, like they're trying to control every aspect of our life. You know what I mean? And
Where
it's
where do you think
complete
Trump? Where do you think
control.
Trump comes into this, my friend? Where do you see? Because when I say to people, we have no hope here, right? And I say
Yeah.
we're looking for a savior. That's all it is. So
Yes.
we pretty much go. We've got great people here. We've mentioned them: Jared Rennick, Malcolm Roberts, Paul Hanson, a few others there that I mentioned. Obviously, there's people in power that are for the people. I mean, I saw what Jackie Lambie did. I mean, again, you know, again, she what
Yeah.
she said, what she said, you know, but we go over and this is why people are going. We want Trump because he's actually stating what we need. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to look at what's happening to you. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Correct. No, I 100% agree, and I think Trump's a very good role model for Western countries, and I think we need to adapt to more what they're doing. I mean, I mean, the Liberals will always argue, oh, the tariffs aren't good. It's gonna drive inflation, but I believe you have to have a level of inflation in order to kind of regulate like an economy. Like there has to be some level of inflation initially in order for it to regulate, and you're seeing, his policies with regards to bringing manufacturing back into the States with these tariffs. You know what I mean? It's forcing, like China to start
So we're going to stop there.
manufacturing in the States, which is opening up jobs for Americans, which is great for their economy in the long run.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think, yep. So I think in the long run, introducing these tariffs is great for the American economy because it opens up jobs and it drives manufacturing back into their country.
Exactly. So we look at Australian economy. We look at Australia, mate. We are rich. Now, I believe. What's your opinion?
Yeah.
So this is great, right? So the best one I don't know, and I still find this really weird. Solar power. We're
No,
the
no.
hottest. We're the hottest. Here we go. He's shaking. He knows. We're the hottest country in We're the hottest country in the world. Why aren't we utilizing solar? Well, we all know. Let's go. Let's. There it is. Okay, I'll just
Yeah,
do that. All right, but
100%.
you know what? I talked to someone about it. They couldn't give me a straight answer. Because I go, isn't it simple that you go, all right, here's your son, goes and gets these things on top of your roof. I'm no expert, but they charge you. Is that how it works? Oh yes, but there's all I know is all I know is they want to put 20 or 30 big batteries in the middle of certain places in Australia to run our electricity. That's all I'll say to you.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I kind of find it a bit ironic that, like we're you have people like Chris Bowen talking about changes in the weather, or, like our weather's changing. We're getting more storm, we're getting more hail. Let's build open solar panels that are directly affected by that particular weather event. It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
Oh,
I mean, you see
absolutely.
solar farms being absolutely obliterated over in America by like tornadoes, heavy storms, hurricanes,
Yep.
just ripped to shreds. And then all of, the toxic like leads that are like seeping into the soils. Like, it's not green. It's not green. They can try and push this agenda as being, oh, this is great for our environment, but
Yep.
it's not. It's really not. I mean, these things, we barely even have a plan to be able to recycle these things.
Well,
You know
what do
what
you
I mean?
think?
Like,
Yeah,
they're not.
yeah, exactly, mate. This is what I'm saying. I'm no expert. But I'm a black and white person. Like,
Yep.
there's the sun. The sun goes in, energy comes to us. I mean, that's very simplistic.
Yep.
But am I
But,
am I not? Am I not? Am I?
well,
You know what I
here's
mean?
the thing. Yeah, here's the thing. Australia's predicted to have over, another 1,200 years of mining, right? We are the richest in coal. We're the richest in iron ore. Why are we not? And you're talking about, oh, our economy's destroyed. Why are we not upping our exports? You know what I mean? Our country, we could be the richest country. We are
We
so
should be
rich in
self-sufficient, my
resources.
friend. Let's be honest.
100%. Yeah, yeah,
Apparently, back in the 90s, when the government apparently didn't allow the mining companies who are offshore. This is only a rumor. And this is for entertainment purposes only, ladies and gentlemen. Rumor on the street said they only taxed them on 33% of their profits.
yeah, yeah.
Rumor has it.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I just think, like, I'll never be able to wrap my head around the fact that, our country is so rich with resources, and we've just completely walked away from it. And they try to say things like, "Oh, well, mining causes earthquakes," and it's just
We're
like,
not on a. We're not. We're not on a. We're not on the plates, mate. Japan is on
I
the
know,
plates.
yeah, they're just trying to find any excuse to get rid of our mining industry, and I love our mining industry. I think it's absolutely amazing. You know what I mean? And
Our
to be able
mining, our
to,
farmers.
yes, 100% agriculture. I mean, all of these things, we are so rich in it, and we're just completely destroying it for the sake of profits to the federal governments. You know what I mean? And the UN, I
How do you
think,
think?
as well, because
So how do you think? How do you think because it can be fixed. We all know this. And I think what we're doing is when people wake up and have a voice like we are right now, I
yeah.
mean, what do you think? Where do you think the start of the turn? And it's not because of getting rid of whoever. Where do you think the first turn would be, my friend? Do you think it's turning now, or how do you see it?
Well, I think it definitely is starting to turn. Like with regards to people waking up. Um,
Where do you think we need a shock? We need a shock.
so
Where do you think? Okay, because I mean you're more on top of this than I am, and I'm looking at them going, I look, not that I say I don't see a way out. There's always a way out. Where do you think it's going to come? We're going to get that jolt and go right. It's start. We take the Trump thing. It went
yeah,
red. All right.
yeah,
We see the division. All right.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And no one's, whatever. We can see where do you think it's going to happen for us? Because I know it's happening in Canada. I mean,
yeah,
Trudeau's up in March, if I'm correct. Canadian
yeah,
friend, correct me. He's a goner.
Yep.
He's a guy. Where do you think it's going to happen for us, my friend? What do you see? Because I mean, you're right on top of this.
So I think this is going to sound pretty funny, but I think what could actually be a massive factor of this is I don't know if you're super familiar with Alex Jones over in America in his sort of podcast.
I've heard of it. I haven't listened to it, I'll be honest with you, but I have heard
Yep,
with him and Candace. There's him, Candace Owens, and Joe
yep.
Rogan, and a few
So
others. Yeah, a few others there. Yeah.
this is leading into that. So obviously you would know about Pauline Hanson's animation show.
Oh my god.
That she yeah, it's
I know.
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's
I saw the
fantastic.
jail one. They put Pauline in jail, and then she comes out
Yeah,
and says, "I'm look. This is called freedom. We forgive and forget. Let's all work together." I saw that one.
yeah. So it's the please explain. Now, Alex Jones actually picked up on one of these episodes of Please Explain, and he put it up publicly on his profile. And now this guy generates massive traffic in the US. And it was the particular episode that she actually had an animated Joe Rogan in her episode. Now, I'm starting to see kind of a bit of tension here with regards to maybe a relationship building between the Joe Rogan podcast and potentially Pauline Hanson. So I think if she was to somehow be able to jump on an episode of the Joe Rogan podcast, I think it would just send
Oh,
so much international traffic over to our political scene, and I think it would really start pushing people to start voting for a one nation federal government. So I
okay.
think we need a factor like this, because it's very hard to kind of get that now, because our two party system is so strong, you know what I mean? And they're trying to introduce policies to make it harder for independents and minor
Yeah,
parties
have you heard
to
about the cap?
grow.
So we're talking about the cap on campaigning. Have you heard about that one?
Yeah, yeah,
$800. But we can have 23 million, and that's fine. And we'll probably get some more stuff from somewhere underneath the table.
so it's things like this that are a worry. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because we do need to get out of this two party system. I mean, we've been back and forth between
Have you seen that?
Liberal Labor.
Have you seen that Parliament one? The one with the two ladies. I think I can't remember their name. Their names are. There's two ladies on there. I can't remember which one it was, but they do some ads. Oh, we're from the two party system. I can't
I
remember.
think I've seen them.
I have to remember what
Yeah,
their name. I only saw them a couple of times. I have to actually. I'm not sure. I have to look. I mean, follow so many people, but I think
yeah,
getting into the. We know that Elon Musk does know of something because has made a few comments.
he has.
He has
He
made a
has.
few comments. They do know what's going on down here, and it has now. It's starting to make news over here. I saw a British one, a British news company over in. Well, I think it's independent one, and I think Rebel News with Ari. He's been
Oh yes,
he's
yes,
heavy. He gets it out there as well. So
he
big shout
does.
out to him, mate. You're doing a wonderful job with what you do.
100%.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm with that, my friend. I think that something like that would happen because it's just getting out of control. I think with regards to
Yes.
being in Canada, they've got the humanity. I don't think they've broken the spirit. They haven't broken the spirit over there. That's the easiest way I can describe it. They've still got a humanitarian
Yes.
spirit over here. We haven't got as much tolerance for that anymore. It's still tall poppy. I've got
Yeah, it's exactly right. Yeah, I think yeah, we have lost a bit of that in Australia, and I think we really need to. Uh, I've sort of seen a bit. People are definitely angry at what's going on here, but I don't think it's enough to kind of get us over the line. We need. It's not of the masses. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
People are kind of just a bit still, kind of so focused on their own lives, which I completely understand. But I'm definitely not seeing quite the stand up that countries like Canada are kind of exhibiting at the moment with
Yeah, I
their
think so as well.
government.
I think I always believe in what happens in life. There's always a lesson with two things. So what's been happening in Parliament and all the outrages in Parliament, that's why they want to ban social media. They don't want these kids to know because they have a look. My belief, Charlie Kirk getting the younger kids to vote and know
Right.
what's going on. Keep these young kids just go, you go and play your video games, whatever, but don't know what's actually happening.
Mm.
I mean, they're the future voters, aren't they?
Exactly right. Yeah, no, they are the future voters, and we need to start. And it's kind of scary with the way that we're seeing kind of my generation move, because I'm Gen Z,
Yep.
and I kind of look at my generation and some of my peers and think, this is not good for our future.
Mm.
They've been so heavily indoctrinated that they have no understanding of the other side of the government. They really
Yeah.
have no idea because
I
they've
don't
been
think
so
government.
suppressed.
I don't think government's been taught in schools.
No, it's
Well, no
not.
public
It's
schools. Or they go, oh, we have two parties. This is the Senate and this is the House of Representatives.
no, it's just all about
So
boys
what?
can wear skirts.
Let's go on to that one. The LGBTQI community. Sorry, excuse if I got it wrong. But what is you've got a strong voice on that. As I said, this is a safe podcast, of course. This is what I provide for the community. Go.
Yes, so I'm very critical
Yep.
on the transgender movement. I think it needs to be abolished from the school system completely. And I think it's not it's being taught in a sense of this is how it is, right? It's not. Children are losing the ability to use critical thought, right, and critical analysis of what's
Can I
going on
just say,
around them.
ladies and gentlemen, listen closely to what he's saying, because this is exactly what people are worried about. It's not picking on people. There you go. Because
Correct.
we have a beautiful country here, and you can be who you want, and we should be who I want. Sorry to interrupt. I just had to put that disclaimer in.
No, 100%. So I think it should not be in our education system. Children need to be able to grow and adapt to, kind of things that come into their lives the older they get. But when you target a child that's so young and doesn't have that experience of the world yet, it's very easy for them to just believe that is the truth. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
that's where we lose our critical thinking within our education system. And school should not be about teaching children, that boys can wear skirts and girls can do this. That's not what school's about. School is supposed to be setting up our children for the future, right? And that's stemming very far away from it. And it's actually taking the responsibility and the control out of the hands of parents, and it's putting it into the school
Mm.
system. So
Well, I,
that's
I've
another
got
big
my theory
issue.
on that one. Here's one for you. And everyone goes, how do you fix all? How do you? What are they trying to do? Hang on, how do I put this? The way I see it is, well, actually, let's go with that misinformation bill for starters, and over 16, which covers your point as well.
Yep,
Taking the parenting away, obviously, with your Christian values, mother, father. I say two parent.
100%.
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, parents love each other, but at the end of the day, it's up to the parents, ladies and gentlemen. And if the parent wasn't working to put food on the table and put a bloody roof over their head, they'd be able to do this thing instead of, oh, we've got your back. Yeah, no worries. We'll send you to work and get you to do 90 hours at a reduced rate so you can put your kid in childcare. All right? Put your kid in
Spot
bloody
on.
childcare, which they do a wonderful job, mind you. And this is not having a go. But what we're saying is, why are you trying to take the parenting away from the parent? Because they're not there to look after
Spot
the
on.
kid.
Spot on. Spot on. And and that's the way that they've built the economy.
And
No one, no,
and
no.
if I could just jump in, sorry to bother, sorry,
Yep.
just to finish my point.
No, go for
Exactly
it.
what you're saying. It doesn't matter what opinions are. It's about the family unit, about the parent parenting the child.
Correct.
That's the broad idea of it. Yeah, you can go, okay, there's difference and different, that's fine. But at the end of the day, the guardians, parents, whatever you want to call it, who have control, who have that child in their family or under their wing, has to have the final choice. If they're not there, they're working for someone else to put food on the table, which they probably can't because they're not getting paid enough because of inflation, then we have issues. Sorry to cut you off there, mate.
No, 100%, and I agree, and that's another reason why I have so much respect for people like Charlie Kirk, because these are the exact topics that he actually fights for. You know what I mean? Is putting the responsibility back into the hands of the parents to raise their children. And we're seeing a massive divide in this regard, particularly with the way that the government has destroyed our economy with overspending. Single home incomes, it's impossible. It's not viable anymore, and it's actually creating a world where people are feeling that they can't have children, or they at least can't have more children than
I
maybe
had
what
this
they
discussion
desire.
before, my friend. I had this discussion with my friend, and then they said, yeah, look, we're getting a bit more selfish and stuff with regards to having kids and stuff, and I've always had the belief that people should make choices for themselves. And that's the way it
Yeah,
is. Whether you have or you haven't, doesn't matter, but make a conscious choice. But
yeah,
again, they're going out to do a job, to put their and to put food, water, whatever it may be, a roof over their head. And then we've got tall poppy, ladies and gentlemen, try to outdo things. Oh, I have to have this, I have to have that. Consumerism. I'm a
yeah,
collector, my friend, but what's happening?
yeah,
I have to have it better than this person. What do you
yeah.
reckon
No, I
about that?
think I don't think anybody should compare themselves to anybody else. I think the tall poppy syndrome is it's a sign of weakness. You know what I mean? If you have to kind of strip somebody else down because they're doing better than you, then that's just
Or compare
it's
yourself to other people that
but just
they've got more.
yeah, yeah. Never do that. Never do that. Never compare yourself to anybody else. You are who you are, and be proud of that. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, it's quite simple, as I said, going on the round. If parents were home more and weren't as stressed, and probably lost themselves, they know that the true parenting. As I said, if you don't want to be a parent, that's fine or whatever. Just remember, when you do sacrifice, when you have a child, your child comes first.
Spot on. Yeah,
I mean, I know
it
myself. That's
absolutely
what
does.
happened. Yeah, and you still you know this, but I don't.
Yeah,
And it's getting harder and harder out there. It is
it,
getting
it
hard.
is.
It is getting harder and harder out there. The future for yourself, mate. You hold yourself very well. You speak very well. I see a lot of Charlie Kirk in you.
I
I
appreciate
really
it.
do. And I mean, ladies and gentlemen, go and look him up. Yes, we're exactly right. He did help Trump get over the line.
Yeah.
What do you see in the next 6 months, mate? We've got federal elections coming up. We've got you're calling for Pauline Hanson to get on Joe Rogan or
Yes.
Jared Reddick, whoever it may be, doesn't matter. But one that's for the people. We all know
100%.
for the people, ladies and gentlemen, not for just one race or anything. For the people of Australia. What do you reckon the
Yes.
next 6 months? What do you see in the next 6 months, my friend?
So the next 6 months, I think with regards to the election, obviously I would like to see a one nation federal government. I unfortunately don't think it will happen.
No, that's okay.
I don't think Australia is that over the line yet with being awake. But look, I'm just going to keep trying to put as much content out there as I possibly can,
Yep.
trying to bring people because I see a lot of engagement, with people in my comment section saying, "Wow, I didn't know this," and that is the exact
I can
reason
say that
why I do
myself, mate.
this.
I've learned a lot from you.
Yeah,
And it said Rids, opinion, justice matters, hood law,
yeah,
Madison King.
yeah, yeah.
And you're
Shout
great.
out.
All you are great friends of mine now. And I know how knowledgeable you guys are, but the passion you guys have got too. You can see it in your like. It's really good to have a critical conversation with someone so knowledgeable like yourself, my friend.
Oh, well, I really appreciate that. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Big shout out to those guys. We need more people like this, that are engaging with their audience and building a brand for themselves. And, we're kind of all coming in together and uniting to push as much of the truth out as possible. And I think, one day in the future, I would aspire to be somebody like, Charlie Kirk, who runs, somewhat of a political movement in Australia, because I think we really need it. We need a body that influences, young minds here, and we don't have that. I mean, we
Yeah.
have the political parties, but there's nothing external to that. There's nobody going out to the, universities. There's nobody going out to the schools and trying to, show the youth what's really happening here. And Australia needs something like
I
this.
think the
And
big thing, as I said to you, I think the election in America really showed where people are. I think a lot of people are smarter than what we think, or what we think. Oh, no one's waking up. I think a lot of people are. They just don't know how to speak up and when to speak up. I think, ladies and gentlemen, it's just what we're doing. I mean, what I'm doing with the chat with Jay. I mean, I've got my opinions. I'm giving people a safe space, like getting my friend Joe up here, for the stuff that I'm learning from him. I mean, you might not agree with everything, ladies and gentlemen. That's the whole point of living here. It's called freedom and freedom of choice, peace of mind. Have a discussion. Have a critical, a nice discussion about things. It's not about yourself. Have you noticed yourself that people reckon their opinion? Some people think their opinion is fact. It's
yeah,
it's
100%.
Or your opinion's nothing. Oh, we've seen all that, mate.
Yeah, yeah, you definitely see a lot of that. You definitely see a lot of that where they, there's people that are so set in their way. They're so set in their belief system, and they're not really, willing to kind of see what's going on.
Absolutely.
I think the mainstream media has a massive part to play in that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Where they're just, force feeding the public the same narrative. And when somebody hears something that's contrary to what they're hearing from the mainstream media, they can't accept it. Which is a massive issue.
Yeah, it is. On that note, mate, this has been a wonderful interview. I'm going to get you back on in about 6 months' time because we'll be probably talk election and whatnot. And I'm
100%.
sure you're start. I can already see you starting to, mate. I can see Charlie Kirk of Australia coming up, mate. So,
thanks so much, man.
big shout out to you. And as I said, we've got some great people we want to jump on. Do you want to tell us where they can find you, my friend?
So TikTok, just my name, Joesph Biagi on TikTok. I'm also on X. If you guys want to follow, feel free to do that. I'm all about exposing the truth and the true narrative. So yeah, thank you,
mate. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you. And as I said, I reach out to people, and I thank everyone on this show that I reach out to because they don't know me from a bar of soap, ladies and gentlemen. But an absolute pleasure, and now becoming. It's amazing how we connect the vibration frequency and obviously the knowledge and passion that we all have. You just connect straight away, and that's what it's all about. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a chat with Joseph from Queensland. Mate, he's going to be the next Charlie Kirk. Go and look him up. Thank you very much for being involved. And if you want to get your story told, come on board, have a chat with Jay. And always, as I say, at the end of my story and at the end of every chat, my hero, Bret the Hitman Hart from Canada, XWF champion, but the best there is, best there was, and the best there ever will be. Thanks a lot for your time, Joe, and we will see you soon.
Excellent. Thank you.